I like costumes. So this is one of the earliest, my earliest costumes were made out of, remember when Baskin Robbins has the ice cream in those cardboard tubs and you can go ask for the tubs? When I was a kid, we'd ask for the tubs and we'd make stuff out of them. And one of the first things I made was a space helmet with some acetate from my dad, because he was an animator. I made this space helmet and I really loved it. And it actually was the gift that kept on giving. I ended up making two of those in a row, and then I made a suit of armor out of cardboard, and then I graduated to a full suit of armor out of roofing aluminum, which I probably wore to high school and passed out of heat exhaustion. I woke up in the nurse's office. I just remember I couldn't sit down, so I was standing and leaning in the math class like C-3PO. Are you okay? And I said, I think so, and I collapsed and woke up in the nurse's office and said, where's my armor? So after that, I gave up costumes for a while, especially after losing to Erica Cargill in the Mickey Mouse costume, which I thought my suit of armor was vastly better than, but her hands were so perfect, she won. Cut to about 6 or 7 years later, I moved to San Francisco, I was working in theater, I was building a skill base as a maker of things, and I made this, which is this alien costume out of plaster and glue and the teeth were all friendly plastic, and I could wear it, it was animatronic, and it was really exciting. I even went so far as to vacuum form some alien face huggers that I was thinking about wearing around. This is just a compendium of some early costumes. God of Nightmares I made out of roofing aluminum. This is skills I learned making the suit that was doing in high school. This actually was shortly after I got work at Industrial Light and Magic. I made what I think is a super crazy, awesome, accurate version of the Cyclops dudes from the City of Lost Children. And I wore it, I shaved my fucking head. That was a dedication, and I went to the Island Halloween party, my first, and I walked in thinking, I am badass, this is so awesome, and the costume right at the door is someone who's like checking out costumes that are noteworthy, and they go, it's an okay board, next. Here, I figured let's be more recognizable. I took the roof off the golf cart and I got driven all over the ILM campus. Indulgence is for everyone. You see, there's pieces of the arena from episode 2. When is the arena? Episode 1 or 2? 2. You see the arena being carved behind me by model makers there. That's me as the king of King Neptune from the Mermaid Parade in New York City. And on Mythbusters, I've actually got ample opportunity to dress up in costume. Everything from a chef, James Bond villain, Indiana Jones, you've seen me doing a very nice Sean Connery impression. Yeah, I was just willing to go all the way with that one. Superhero, that's my own personal. That was so much fun. This was just a couple weeks ago. I chased Jamie through the woods with a bloodhound. We revisited the bloodhound episode. So yeah, I got to dress up as a good sheriff. This is me in the Matrix costume. Now, I'll tell you, it's like, yeah, I've got a TV show, but still, when I showed up on set, I knew we were going to be jumping off of buildings. We wore these sweatsuits for the first half of the episode where we were training that said stunt training. And I knew that this whole episode was going to hinge on these high-speed shots of me and Jamie jumping into airbags, jumping into dumpsters full of foam. And I thought, I want it to look good. I love those high-speed shots that look excellent. So I put together this Neo costume for about $300. A cheap jacket from eBay and these boots from Haight Street. The sunglasses. My one tip to my hat was I kept on wearing my hat. But I walked out from around the back of my car in this costume, and my whole crew went like this. And I must admit, I was a little embarrassed. I felt that embarrassment of like the kid in high school was like feeling pretty good in this costume, and someone else was like, look at that asshole. Until they saw the high speed shots, and then everyone was like, you were so right. And I was like, yeah, I was. I am this thing. Wearing underwater. That was awesome. I was so negatively buoyant, I actually could run across the ocean floor chasing after sharks. Oh, I'm sorry this is so dark. This is actually, there's a company called UD Rapids that makes a magnificent set Kevlar motorcycle armor in the style of Batman's Dark Knight suit.
Oh.
It is freaking phenomenal. And they wrote me and said, "Do you want a set?" And I was like, "Yes!" So I wore it for this episode will air soon. This is Adam and Jamie's Tornado Special. I'm not going to tell you what happened. It's pretty cool. This was actually just about a week ago. We did an Arrow machine gun, and I wanted to look like a good Roman centurion. And this is awesome. I wanted to find a good centurion costume, so I start with the movies that I love. I went looking for a gladiator costume. And Todd's Costumes makes an excellent gladiator costume, but it was more money than I wanted to spend for just this one-note gag of the centurion costume. And then on Prop Store of London, there's this movie that's about to come out with Michael Fassbender called Centurion. And they made a crap load of these costumes. That's not metal, it's all just vinyl, vacuum metallized and painted. And the full costume, shirt, pants, boots, and the armor was like a very reasonable price, about $400. And I bought it and wore it all day, had so much fun. But the other access I want to show you, this is the actual Tron helmets. This is a tour I got of some secret archives. That's me wearing one of the helmets from Outland. But prepare yourself. That's me. Now the new opportunity for wearing costumes turns out to be the con. So we go into Comic-Con a couple of years ago, and I'm thinking, I want to walk the floor in costume. That would be cool. That would be really intense. And so I put together this costume. There's me, Grant, Tori, and Jamie. That's the first costume I put together for Comic-Con. And I got much more attention in that costume than I would have had I walked the floor as me naked. I took photos for about an hour and a half, just every 5 seconds taking a photo. It was really, but the transformation was there. That feeling of putting on this whole other skin was totally there. I completely got it. It felt awesome. So there's been more of that. That's me and my son in front of the Ironmonger. This was the one I did at DragonCon last year, a full Chewbacca built by this guy Mark Putenis at the New England Wookiee Works. Hand-stitched hair onto netting. It's actually quite comfortable. That's me and my wife at Halloween. She loves Wookiees. That's me at Comic-Con last year. Joker from the Heights. I was thinking of a costume that would be a little less attention-grabbing, a little easier to wear. And that was really fun, especially getting down the whole shuffle, that whole kind of thing. It was really, really fun. I ran into all sorts of other Jokers, and we took lots of pictures with each other. But this year at Comic-Con, I'm doing something different. Now, every year I've gone to one of the cons and worn a costume. I've done a thing where if you can find me, you get a prize. And last year at Comic-Con, we gave away a Mythbusters-themed iPhone. This year, we're actually going to give away a Mythbusters-themed iPad. But the secret is, I'm going to tell you what my costume is. I'm making the official announcement right here for the first time. I'll make it on the web soon. But I'm going to tell you what my costume is, and it's still going to be hard to find me. Why? Because I'm going to be a... Costumes were made for these British guys that were a lot shorter. You can't fit in that armor. So there.